Hello, my happy readers. Welcome to Shed Time Stories with me, Issy. Are you ready to share a new story? Well, I have chosen the perfect story to share. The title is Aqua Paws. If you have this book at home, you can read along with me. The author, the person who has written this story, is Patricia Alieri. And the illustrator, the person who has drawn all the pictures, is Stella Maris. Now, most cats don't like water. Not Aqua Paws. He loves water. But there is something he does fear. I wonder what it could be. Shall we read and find out? Aqua Paws loved the water. He loved splashing, diving, and surfing. There was just one thing he didn't love about the water: crabs. Their tiny claws scared him, and he was always afraid one was going to pinch him. "Ready?" Purple Beak called from across the beach. Aqua Paws jumped. Then he laughed to himself. "I thought you were a crab," he said. "Not me," Purple Beak said, "but we may find some down there." Aqua Paws looked out at the water nervously. "Come on," Purple Beak called. "You don't want to miss the flowers, do you?" Purple Beak handed Aqua Paws a collecting bag. "For any treasures you find down there," he said. "And any litter, of course. We've all got to do our part to keep the water clean." Aqua Paws couldn't wait to see what treasures he'd find. "Let's go!" he cheered, his fear of crabs forgotten in his excitement to see the ocean's wonders. Soon the two were happily swimming underwater. Aqua Paws' eyes grew wide as he looked at the flowers gently waving in the current. He picked up a pearlescent shell and slipped it into his bag. He pointed excitedly at a school of fish passing by, then quickly darted backward in surprise when they puffed up, their spines extending out toward him. Aqua Paws let out a laugh. He couldn't believe he'd been scared of fish. Aqua Paws spun around, taking in the wonders, and stopped dead in his tracks. Below him was a crab, a big crab. Aqua Paws started to back away. Maybe he could escape before the crab saw him. But as he edged backward, he realized that the crab wasn't even paying attention to him. It was just going on its way. Suddenly, Purple Beak held up his collecting bag. "I see something shiny way down there," he said. "I'm going to check it out." Aqua Paws wished he could go with Purple Beak, but he couldn't hold his breath as long as his turtle friend could. That meant he'd have to stay here all alone. Aqua Paws swam towards the seabed. Soon he had found a key, a metal button, and an aluminium can. Just then, Aqua Paws saw something on the seabed. It looked like plastic. Remembering what Purple Beak had said about litter, Aqua Paws reached into the seagrass to get it. Aqua Paws' foot snagged in the plastic and got stuck. He cast his eyes around frantically. He needed help, but he was all alone. Purple Beak was still diving for treasure. Then Aqua Paws saw it, the crab. It scuttled toward him, claws snapping. Aqua Paws flinched at the clicking of the crab's claws. He held his breath, trying to pull free, but he only got more tangled. The crab drew closer and closer until, finally, it reached out its claw. Snip! The crab had cut him free. Aqua Paws lunged for the shore. Throwing off his mask, he breathed deep gulps of air. What was that? Aqua Paws asked when Purple Beak joined him. I couldn't get loose from it. Before Purple Beak could answer, the crab emerged from the waves. She scuttled across the beach and laid the soda can ring at Aqua Paws' feet. You saved me, Aqua Paws said. Why would you do that? The crab shrugged. We all have to take care of each other and our oceans. And with a slow one-claw wave, she made her way back to the water. Aqua Paws sat for a long time thinking about the crab. Maybe he'd been wrong. Maybe crabs weren't so bad after all. You know, Aqua Paws said, I think I'm ready to get back out there. What do you say, Purple Beak? Purple Beak, Aqua Paws called. Where did you go? Across the sand, Purple Beak called out, Last one in is a rotten turtle egg. Aqua Paws grinned as he threw on his mask and fins. He couldn't wait to get back out there. How can you help Aqua Paws preserve the ocean? Remember to bring your litter home when you're on a trip. If you find any litter, pick it up and bin it. Treat all the sea creatures with respect and care. For example, starfish don't like to be picked up and taken out of the water. Don't bring home any shells or other keepsakes. Everybody deserves to enjoy them on the beach. Keep learning about sea life. The more you know, the more you can help. And above all, never be afraid of crabs. How to build your own crab and upcycle in the meanwhile. Toilet roll, googly eyes, or you can paint them. 6 legs, 2 claws. Paint your toilet roll red. Trace the claws, you'll need 2. And the legs, you'll need 6 or 8. You can recycle some old cardboard to be more eco-friendly. Paint them red too. Glue the claws and legs to the body. Add googly eyes and a cute mouth. Voila! What a swimmingly wonderful story that was! Aqua Paws was able to overcome his fear of crabs because it was a crab who saved him from being tangled up in all that plastic. And he realized there was nothing to fear. What I liked most about this story is how Aqua Paws and Purple Beak helped us to see how important it is to keep our oceans clean. We must always take our rubbish home. I hope you've enjoyed this Shed Time story, and if you want to, you can like, share, follow and subscribe to Shed Time Stories. Then you'll be ready for the next book we can share together. Bye-bye.